front is not skincare. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm finance, I'm numbers, I'm an analytical type person. So the normal thing for me to do is, well, I need to take a course. I need to know what formulas mean. I need to know that I'm going to have to hire a chemist and I'm going to speak to manufacturers. I need to speak their language. So the first thing I did was found a course that taught me about ingredients and formulas. And I'm still going through it, but that is what interested me. So that was my first step. I needed to know how to, it was important to me to be able to speak the language.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Kisha Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Kisha Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here with me, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join our community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. What I like to do is something called the Friends in Beauty Friday feature, where every Friday I spotlight a different friend in beauty and their accomplishments. So no matter how big or small you think it is, I want to shout you out. I want to send you some good vibes. So all you have to do is use the hashtag FIB Friday feature, tag Friends in Beauty on something that you have accomplished, and I'll share it with the community. Also, join me every Thursday on Instagram Live on the Friends in Beauty Instagram page at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Friends in Beauty podcast after party, where I break down different gems and takeaways from that week's episode. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I appreciate you so much, and I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe, something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. Also, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe because they are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different business resources, inspiration, and motivation throughout the week. So if that's something you're interested in as well, the link for that will be down below in the show notes. And last but not least, the most important thing, okay? I need you to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share a way to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, today on the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome the CEO of Enzuri Beauty, Kisha Tyrrell, to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. There are two things that women want in skincare. That's healthy skin and youthful skin that glows. Throughout the year, as the seasons change, protecting your skin and proper healing is essential for a radiant glow. Early in life, Kisha had her first mini facial at the age of 12 and immediately fell in love with taking care of her skin and began to learn everything she could about different ingredients and how they impact the skin as it changes over time. After traveling the world to uncover beauty secrets, she decided to create a holistic skincare line to help support women with healthy aging, reducing fine lines, wrinkles, elasticity, and hyperpigmentation. This fall, Enzuri Beauty will launch and release a complete collection of facial cleansers, toners, and antioxidant day serum and a night serum with retinol. So you definitely have to stay plugged in so you have all the details about the launch. I had such a great time chatting with Kisha. We have so much in common. In this interview, Kisha shares her inspiration and process for creating Enzuri Beauty, the importance of investing in education when stepping into a new business venture, what is holistic skincare, and why she chose the holistic route for her brand, advice for starting your own skincare line, details on the launch of Enzuri Beauty, and so much more. So let's go ahead and jump into this amazing chat with Kisha Tyrrell of Enzuri Beauty. And if you prefer to watch the interview, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Kisha.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you. I'm so excited for the upcoming launch of your brand. So I would love to just dive in and learn more about that. But before we do, I got to ask you some icebreaker questions just to get us warmed up and for people to get to know you outside of the skincare world.
Okay.
All righty. So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
God. Born and raised in Bermuda. I have a 12-year-old son who is going through puberty. So that's a whole other podcast within itself. And I have a really big family and I'm the youngest. So
you have like a lot of siblings?
I have a older brother and sister, but tons of cousins and aunts. Yeah, the family, the extended family is the family.
Yeah, I know how that goes with Caribbean people because my family's from Jamaica, but I have 6 brothers and 4 or 5 sisters. Look, I can't even count. 5 sisters, I think.
Yes.
And then like 30 something nieces and nephews.
Exactly. And I know I don't look it, but I'm a great aunt a couple of times over.
I feel like I'm about to be a great aunt too, because I have nieces and nephews that are like in their 20s, like early 20s, late teens. So I'm about to be a great aunt soon. I know I am. Oh my God. Okay. So next one is, what do people always tell you that you're good at?
I'm very good at organizing people to get things done. Normally, whenever we want to hang out with my friends or if we do something, okay, what should we do? I'm the one that just takes charge and let's go, let's do this, let's get this, let's hang out. Sometimes we end up probably doing things we shouldn't be doing, but it's all in fun.
Yeah, that's totally me amongst my group of friends. I'm the one that knows how to like plan things out strategically and have a good time too.
Exactly.
When's the last time that you did something for the first time?
Oh, last time I did something for the first. Would gardening count? It's something I always wanted to do, never attempted it. The pandemic allowed me the ability to take some time and do it. Tried it. It's a work in progress. Let's just leave it at that.
We have that in common. I'm so excited. I'm a plant mom. So when I moved into the place that I'm in, my mother got me this plant, a Monstera plant. And before that, like I would say I had a brown thumb. Like the plants will always die. I had a bonsai tree one time that they say bonsais aren't supposed to die, but leave it to me and it died. But once I got that plant, it started to flourish and it gave me like the confidence to like try to start gardening. So I made like a little garden on my balcony and I have some okra that I just cooked for my garden yesterday, some tomatoes, some kale, 2 little watermelons growing.
Oh, cool.
It's so exciting. It's
well,
really
let's say I had a cactus in part of my, for decoration.
Didn't make it.
Just leave it at that. Yeah.
I love that. So I have these things called pod decks.
Okay.
And they're like random questions. This one is a would you rather deck. And then this one is a what the heck. So which one would you like?
The first one was would I rather?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with what the heck.
What the heck? And literally, I always say when I pull cards out of here that these things are crazy. And just know I did not make this deck. Like, I don't know where they came up with these questions, but let's see, a random one.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is so weird. Okay. This is what the heck. Yeah. What strange thing would you like to happen at your funeral to make people laugh?
What?
I've never gotten this one before. And I'm gonna hold it up so people know I'm not like
exactly. Well, you know what? It's probably I'm definitely I'm all about the practical jokes and all of that. I would probably want people to think, well, I don't know how it would work, but you would think you're showing up. You know how they say funeral should be a celebration of life? I would want people to think that they're showing up for like all out glammed up party. Like that's totally me. So you're not going to a church for a funeral, you are coming out to party. Now whether it makes them laugh or whatever, but it's not a funeral for sure.
And I've never even like thought about that before. That's such a
exactly. I mean, I've been to a few funerals and a few things have happened that made people laugh. But oh my God, I
might just hire a comedian or something.
Exactly.
Lighten the mood. If you can give a piece of advice to your younger self, maybe like your early 20s, like what would you tell yourself?
Definitely you are worth all of it. Whatever you're thinking, you're worth it. I think we in those younger years, we seem to, I think we knew that before the 20s, but once the late teens, 20s happened, we kind of get a little distracted and that reminder gets lost. You're worth it. So don't doubt yourself.
I love it. And last one, if you weren't developing a skincare brand right now, what else could you see yourself doing?
I would probably be a lawyer.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I loved your icebreakers. We have so much in common. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
New fans.
Yes, I would love to just jump into like, who is Kisha Tyrell? Tell us a little bit about your background for, those of us that are just meeting you.
Sure. Like I said, born and raised in Bermuda. I've been here all my life, other than going overseas for schooling. I have a background in insurance and finance and marketing management. So I've been in the corporate world for quite some time, climbing the ladder. I have a 12-year-old who thinks he's probably going 20. So it's just him and I trying to work out life and get this balance going on. I enjoy doing, he's a sporty type kid. So, I'm the goalkeeper when he wants to play soccer, or I'm gonna defend for basketball that, we're playing tennis, or we're totally into sports and exercise like that. But for me, I like my downtime is yoga and going for runs or walks. I just trying to enjoy life more. I think, again, being in that corporate world is very demanding. So just now doing a lot of reflection and just figuring out what I need.
Yeah, I love that. How did the pandemic treat you down in Bermuda?
It was actually, for me personally, I was blessed that I didn't have to worry about, the next paycheck or the roof over my head. So I was very fortunate in that regard. So it allowed me the ability to pause and to really take stock on what was priority for me. Bermuda as a whole, as with the rest of the world, we definitely went through a lot of changes, we really saw a huge impact on the way people lived and how we looked at life. So I'm truly blessed that I was able to come out through it with a business idea, it was a good last 2 years in that regard.
I love that. So the idea for your brand came during the pandemic?
It did. It was, again, I've always loved skincare. I always knew I wanted to have a business of my own. I wasn't sure which angle, I have a varied background from a schooling point of view. So I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go. And then once Enzuri Beauty didn't look like this when I first started. It was something completely different. But as I sat and I thought about it and I did some research, and which we can get into all of that, I realized this makes sense. It made sense. And it just, ever since that decision, everything's just flowed. So
yeah. I love that. What was the ultimate inspiration behind like creating the brand? Like for you to just say, okay, let me get it out of my head, off the paper, and like actually like let's start developing this thing.
I think, and that was it. It was a lot on paper, and I was coming up with stuff, and I was really struggling and thinking. I was thinking too hard about other ideas that it wasn't flowing. And I think I was watching one of the many podcasts or Zooms that were happening at the time, and it was about skincare, and it was just the beauty industry. And I sat there and I said, oh, I want to do that. I can do that. And that's how it evolved. It was one product that I was thinking about in particular, and it was SPF, and I said I want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And it evolved, and then it turned into, oh well, this is what it looks like, this is what I can do to get there. So
I love that.
yeah.
Where does the name Enzuri come from?
So again, Enzuri Beauty didn't look like this a year ago. I loved and as you see on my logo, it's a circle. It's kind of inspired by the Japanese symbol of an enzo, which means enlightenment. It means complete but not complete, perfection yet imperfect. All these words that to me described a woman, as far like that's what it represented to me. And then I also was playing around with other words, and Yuzuri in Swahili means beautiful. And so I knew I needed to trademark, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I just combined the two, and that's when Enzuri came up.
That makes so much sense. I knew it sounded familiar. So I took Swahili when I was younger.
Oh, cool.
So weird because people are like, you took Swahili? Like, yes, I took Swahili as a child. And then one of my cousins, she uses like Enzuri as like one of her names, like on
nice.
Facebook or something like that because of the meaning. So yeah, I love that.
Yes. Yeah, no, I remember, and it was funny because I was brainstorming what was this going to be, and you know how you have one of those Pinterest boards. Another fact, I love tattoos, and one of my inspiration, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a tattoo of an enzo, but then I was also reading, I don't want to. You're very sensitive when it comes to different cultures and what you do. And I was like, no, I'll just appreciate the beauty of it that I see it, as opposed to putting it on my body. And so as I was brainstorming, trying to come up with a name, it hit me that I had this image of an enzo from years ago. It was just always sitting there. And it was like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense.
Nice. So when you were developing the brand, like who did you have in mind that the products would be for?
So I looked at the industry, and I mean, come on, we all know, yes, what beauty and skincare has predominantly looked like. It didn't look like us. Whenever we looked in the media, we never saw us. We definitely, when you saw old, it was depicted as, a particular image. When you saw young, it didn't look like me either. Yeah. But I wanted to focus on not only a woman of color, but I put that one in the middle. So that generation of women that you're not old and you're not young, you're prime, really. Yeah. But I wanted to speak to the woman of color because nobody had been speaking to her all this time. So that's who I was thinking about. Yes, Enzuri Beauty is for all women, but I had that particular woman in mind when I was thinking about ingredients and products and marketing and how I speak to her and just how everything looks. So yeah, that's what I
love that. I love that because it really, I think during the pandemic, I definitely saw a lot of conversations being had and brought to the forefront about how we've been neglected in like the marketplace. So like, this is like the perfect time for like us women of color to like be launching products and just because people are so in a better space of intentionally supporting like Black owned businesses and products and stuff like that. So this is
and I wanted to also, because you know how sometimes you get to that point where people think, oh, a woman of color created a brand, it must only be for women of color. What we didn't think that when we were buying their products, right? We were just like, oh yeah, we can use it too. So I wanted to make sure I I created a brand that not only spoke to this woman of color, but it's like everybody can use it as well. But she's my muse. She's the woman that I was thinking about and who I was talking to. So yeah.
So I know like developing brands, like the end product just looks so good, but I know that there is a process behind the scenes that we do not get to see, like the whole process from like creation in your mind to actually developing. Like, what was the process for developing Enzuri Beauty? And like, did you have to look for manufacturers and packaging and like all of that stuff?
Absolutely. And it's funny. So like I said, when I thought about like a couple of years ago, this whole SPF idea, I definitely I didn't have a clue. My background is not skincare. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm finance. I'm numbers. I'm an analytical type person. So the normal thing for me to do is, well, I need to take a course. I need to know what formulas mean. I need to know that I'm going to have to hire a chemist and I'm going to need to speak to manufacturers. I need to speak their language. So the first thing I did was found a course that taught me about ingredients and formulas. And I'm still going through it, but that is what interested me. So that was my first step. I needed to know how to, like, it was important to me to be able to speak the language. So when I hired a chemist, and she started talking about stability testing and all these other sorts of things, I had a general sense of what she meant. So yeah, I knew, again, this woman that I was targeting or that I wanted to speak to, anti-aging, or what I like to say, healthy aging, is important to her. Our skin when we were in our 20s was a lot different than what it is in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. And we have to know how to take care of that. So once I realized healthy aging is where I want to go, well, what ingredients are important on that journey? Like, what does this woman need to help her to get to where she feels comfortable, she feels beautiful, where she can love the skin that she's in. So I wanted to make sure I really knew ingredients. I wanted to speak to my chemist and I wanted to understand what works together. What does it feel like if you put these two together? So that was really important to me. I've been working with a brand strategist that her focus is helping indie brands kind of launch, like start from scratch and help you on this journey. So, with her, we were researching manufacturers and packaging and designers. So it's been a tremendous learning curve. Yes, we've had our ups and downs in regards to what I think, well, this should happen really quickly, but it doesn't, because that's not how it works. And yeah, so for me, learning to appreciate what a manufacturer needs and timing, and understanding that little me needs to fit into their schedule. It's not the other way around. So yes, it's been a huge learning curve, just trying to deal with the different logistics of it all.
I bet. So that you decided to go the route of having your product made as opposed to private label?
Exactly. So I definitely knew I didn't necessarily personally want to make it. I knew I just wanted to have some sort of control or some voice in regards to the formulations, into the formulas, into what was important to me. So yeah.
I'm always curious about the funding behind it, because for me, I always think about, okay, it's all of these ideas that I have of brands and products and stuff, but I'm always like, well, how am I pay for this? Like, is there something that we don't know about, or did you like fund this out of like your pocket?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I have always been a saver, planning, that's always been me. So I knew I had a savings fund that I could afford to dip into. And I said, this is it. This is the amount that I have to work with. And I literally have been watching every single penny, because it's tough. And I remember starting out, like I said, the strategist that I'm working with, she told me, she's like, we could have a $5 million budget, or you can have a $50,000 budget. Or even less. But what if you have to see where you wanted to go. And I knew what I wanted. And so I prayed and I had faith. Every time I spent $1, trust me, I was doing about 3 prayers behind it. But yeah, and also what was challenging for me being based in Bermuda, we're so close to the US, we see a lot. We see all these, talks about funds and grants, and I can't apply for that because I'm not a US citizen. I also can't apply for, funds or grants in other parts of the world. So it was definitely a struggle when you could see that Black Lives Mattered and they had all this money out there, but it was tough for me to get access to it. So I just prayed and I said, you know what, I have it. This is how we're going to use it. I just needed to. Fund management was definitely, it's been high on the list. So it's not easy. The credit cards, God, don't even want to start, but this is the investment that I'm making. So
absolutely. And it will definitely pay off for sure. Do you remember the name of the course that you're taking?
So it was a course with Formula Botanica. So okay. I saw that being advertised, and they had this, it's kind of like a kind of introduction to skincare. And it's different levels of it. So yeah, I was like, I'm just going to sign up and start doing it. And like I said, it was more for me to understand how ingredients work together.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you did that, because that's something I haven't heard people say. I don't know if they've done it, but I haven't heard a lot of people say, yeah, before I started my brand, I took a course so I could learn the lingo, because that's one thing I do hear when like speaking to manufacturers and stuff like that. You should be able to speak the same language.
Exactly. But that's probably just the anal person in me. And again, some people could say, well, no, that's a procrastination, but I didn't want to get, drowned with all of this. Oh, I'm going to do a course before I do this.
Yeah.
No, I knew what I wanted to do. And I got to at least cover the basics. And again, I'm still going on the course, but at least I have a basic level of understanding of various aspects of it.
Yeah. How did you decide what products you were going to launch with? Did you poll the audience and stuff, or you just?
I did. Well, I kind of had an idea, but I did a lot of research in regards to speaking to women, research, polls, surveys, just asking what does a routine look like, and amazingly, I found that cleansers and toners, just basics. People still had questions about what to use. I don't understand, what are serums? What are face oil? Am I supposed to use them all? And it was just, let's keep it very simple. So I wanted Enzuri Beauty to be as simple, but effective. Mm-hmm. So I definitely, right now I'm launching with 4 products. So it will be a cleanser, a toner, and two serums. So a serum for day that's full of antioxidants, and a serum for night that's got a retinoid and basically focuses on elasticity and fine lines and wrinkles. So I wanted to stay very focused and speak to that. And I wanted to make sure that all 4 items obviously connected with each other, or if you purchase just a serum, I wanted to make sure it was something that you could use with your other products. So not only am I interested in ingredients, I'm also interested in sharing what I know about ingredients. So as part of my website, I want to make sure I have a section that will speak to all the ingredients that are in there, so that whichever item that you're purchasing, if it works with whatever else you have at home that you're using.
Yeah.
Because I mean, knowledge is key. So yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that I kept it simple. Yes, I have a few ideas in for next year, what I want to add and how I want to grow, but it all needs to make sense to me. I don't want to just put products out there just for the sake of putting them out there.
Right. And I love that you said that too, because I do know that a lot of people have this thing, like when they launch products, they feel like they have to come out with like everything at one time, but you can definitely start with 4 or 5 products and just add on as you go.
Exactly. And I mean, it's also how people shop. Like some people are very brand loyal and they'll buy the whole line and just use that. Some people I just need a cleanser. I'm just going to buy this and test this out for now. Or I'll do, 2 out of people just like to pick and choose as well. So I wanted to make sure the launch, I had enough that if you wanted all of them, you have them all.
Yeah. So I know Enzuri Beauty places like an emphasis on holistic skincare. What exactly is what makes skincare holistic, and why did you decide to go that route?
Well, I think, and again, during the pandemic, it allowed me to realize, we all talked about self-care and how it's so important. But it's also another thing to actually do something about it. And so I always have taken the approach of a holistic approach anyway. I mean, you get sick, you catch a cold, what's going on? It's not just the cold, it's more what's your immune system doing, what's going on. And I think it's the same thing about skincare. People are like, oh my God, my skin is oily. Well, why? Are you dehydrated? What's going on? Or are you using the wrong moisturizer? So I think that, we have to take into account our lifestyles. What are we doing? What's going on? Because whatever you do or put on the inside is always reflected on the outside. So yeah, something as simple as forming a habit every day to drink water, however much water you need, flushes out toxins, get your organs working. That will be reflected on the outside. Your diet, maybe you decide, I'm going to eat green for a little while and see what happens. You might notice some changes. So I totally agree with exercise and, alcohol, all of that plays an impact on what your skin, which is the largest organ of your body, is going to look like, especially for the long term.
What kind of rituals do you have around your skin? Because your skin is amazing. Like,
thank you. Yes. Well, I am totally skin obsessed. So I honestly, I think that you don't have to be as extreme as me, but for me, I'm more mindful. I mean, I remember getting my first facial when I was about 12. And this was like, my mom introduced me to taking care of my skin at a very early age. And I remember, none of my friends were doing it. So to me, I was like, oh my God, it was a mini facial at the time. But I remember falling in love with doing that. And I appreciate that the estheticians or whoever I went to see, they probably thought it was amusing that I was so young. So they took the time to explain stuff to me. So I've always appreciated, cleansing your skin and taking care of it and just setting time aside to do that. So for me, it's my bookends of the day, like my morning and my night. I don't have 2 hours in the morning to get ready some days. So I know, my morning routine, simple wash, turn, some serums, SPF is a must. So yeah, I just take the time to what's going on this morning. When I woke up this morning, what did my skin look like? What type of cleanser do I need? What do I need extra of as I'm washing my face, or as is more the relationship that I have with my skin. I'm literally not rushing through every step, which is what sometimes we do. We wash, we turn, and we just throw it on and we just keep going, make everything out the door. No, I'm just a little bit more mindful. And the same at night. I mean, what I do in the morning is a little bit different from what products I would use at night. And then I also make sure weekly I do a couple of things. I'm not as, it's got to get done. It's just knowing that you want to exfoliate, your skin's looking a little dull. Don't forget to do that one day at least this week. But the one thing I do that is my definite is a facial once a month. Like that is my routine. And I used to be one of those people that would think, oh, well, I have to go to the spa and it has to be a whole day. And I was trying to do it and it wasn't sustainable. I couldn't do it every month. I couldn't even do it every 3 months. It was just like, and I was getting upset because I wasn't getting it done. But then I realized you don't need to turn it into a whole spa day. You go to work, you stop working at whatever time, take 2 hours, go get a facial. That's your 2 hours. And then you go and then come home and cook dinner or do whatever you have to do. But I made it work for me. And I think that that's what people need to remember. Whatever works for me may not work for you. But and facials may not be your thing. So just figure out what it is that you can do to take care of your skin the best way that you can.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. I always say I want to get facials regularly, and then I literally go and like never go back for like a whole year or
Thank
something.
you. Exactly. And then you're there, you're like, oh, I need to do this more often. And then you don't do it.
Did you ever have any like skin concerns growing up?
I mean, not too much, but it was, you're teenager, you break out. It was more for me, I understood. I was never one to, you got a pimple, you always want to pop it, you always want to do something immediately. But I realized, oh, well, if I go outside and grab some aloe and just rub that on my face, it will dry it out. Or if I stop touching my face so much. So it was more those sorts of growing pains, just learning about stuff, knowing, oh, if I'm putting all this gel and stuff in my hair and I'm working out and I'm sweating and I'm,
Coming down.
I'm gonna wash my face because So it wasn't necessarily any, anything serious where I needed, I can say I had acne or anything to that regard.
Yeah.
But like I said, my mom introduced me to a dermatologist when I was in my late teens, so that, somebody, well, this is what you go to a dermatologist for. And, that's something that you need to do annually if you can, get your
Right.
skin checked. And so, yeah, it was always, if there was something going on, I learned how to manage it.
I love that. And I love that holistic approach to skincare, just paying attention to your skin, just being mindful, I guess.
It is. It's definitely about being more mindful.
Mm-hmm. How does your professional background help you with developing Enzuri Beauty?
It's definitely in regards to again, coming from a corporate world,
Mm-hmm.
you know about being organized. And again, in my particular role, numbers and spreadsheets, and so I understand logistically how things are supposed to work. I definitely, from the softer side, again, being a woman of color in the corporate world can be challenging, and it's just like, we got to deal with that at work. Why
Yeah.
do I also have to deal with it when I want to just buy some skincare or do stuff? So also taking that and thinking about the woman that I wanted to speak to, she's climbing the corporate ladder. She's doing a lot. She's got a lot going on. So it was more taking my experience of the stresses and the strains that you go through, and to be able to speak to the woman that I want Enzuri Beauty to speak to. But again, more from the analytical standpoint, yeah, understanding how numbers work and, accounts and all of that came with it. But I would definitely say the joys and pains of climbing the corporate ladder is definitely something that I'm more mindful of when I speak to women in regards to who I want to target for Enzuri Beauty.
I love that. And like having a finance background, man,
Exactly.
that's so good because I think that's where a lot of people struggle, especially creatives. People creatively, like in the beauty industry, normally don't have a lot of structure around like business. They just know
Yeah.
how to create.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the fact that you
Yes.
have that background and then you're coming into like a creative industry is like perfect.
And that's the thing, I totally get it. I mean, I remember I went to university with some creatives, and I have some creatives in my family, and so it's just like, okay, that's great, but I need you to know how to add. I need you to know the numbers. I need
Yes.
you to be able to read a contract too. You could go ahead and paint the world, but I still need you to know how to read a contract.
Exactly. I love that. Yes. Oh my gosh. So aside from your brand strategist and the chemist, do you have anybody else on your team that's helping you launch?
So it's just me at the moment. I am on the verge of hiring someone to help me more with the operations, like logistics. So I want to bring that person on board. And again, once I launch and get some revenue going, I do have some people that I want to focus on hiring with specific skills, like the whole social media and that whole
Yeah.
realm. I definitely want. I know where I'm strong and where I'm not, and that's one area that I could see. Okay, after my operations person, I definitely want to handle. I want somebody to be able to handle that as well. So I can see where I need people, where I need skill sets. But yeah, I just got to generate that revenue right now.
Yes. Are you going to go the route of like fulfilling orders yourself, or do you have like a drop shipper or anything like that?
Oh no, I have a fulfillment center that I'm working with. Like I said, I'm based in Bermuda, so I need my my clients or customers, sorry, I'm hoping are, through the US or just international. So being in Bermuda, logistically, it won't necessarily be the best use of funds. So it made sense to work with someone in the US to provide fulfillment.
I like that. I like that. Was that a hard process? I literally just watched a YouTube video today. This girl that I follow, she has like a physical product, like kind of like a planner. And she was saying that she literally just found somebody, a fulfillment center to like, but it was a hard process for her to find one in the US.
Yeah, it was, again, it's been a lot of learning curves, and relationships are really important to me. So if I meet you and it doesn't work, let's try another. Yeah, I cannot afford to go a certain distance and realize, no, this isn't going to work. So I had to be really smart and realize, no, this isn't going to work for me. This isn't going to suit me. This isn't going to suit Enzuri Beauty. So yeah, it was a lot of trial and error in regards to finding partners that worked.
Yeah. For our friends in beauty who may be interested in developing a skincare brand, is there any advice that you could give them on things that maybe you overlooked in the beginning, or just, I don't know, something that you might have overlooked, or something that most people don't think about when they're developing a brand?
I would say the importance of knowing this, and people say call it avatar or your niche market or your market, whomever. I learned early, I'm not for everybody. Yeah. I'm really not. I had to be very specific about who I wanted and not get distracted, because it's easy to say, oh no, I'm just going to sell to this particular area. But then the people over here, you're like, okay, fine. I'll just, no, stay focused. Like stay focused. Figure out who your target audience is, and whether that comes with just doing research, interview people, do some polls, do some surveys to really get a handle on who, in my instance, this woman looks like. I mean, you need to just be able to see her so that you can talk to her and she gets it. So that is definitely one thing I'll say. You cannot serve everybody unless you want to. That's completely up to you, but be very specific and stick to it, and don't feel bad about it either. Like I mean, I'm still in the beginning stages and I'm praying that this works, because it will, but I'm very focused on who it is that I am talking to. So, and I truly believe that.
I love that. And that's something that I tell people all the time. I'm a makeup artist. So, and I do a lot, but makeup artist, beauty educator, but I always tell my students the importance of knowing who you're talking to, because like you said, if you're talking to everybody, you're not talking to anybody at all, essentially. And a lot of times people in my industry don't take the time to really learn who they want as their clients, who they want as their customers. And I was like, literally every business model out here has an ideal client avatar. So I don't understand why some people in the beauty industry don't take the time to really figure out who that person is. And a lot of times it turns out to be somebody that's similar to you, or what I've seen my students do too, is like, it's like their alter ego, like somebody who they aspire to be. But I think that is so, so important.
It is. You're absolutely right. I mean, how many beauty products are there on the market? It's tons. And it's still space for more to come. So that's why you have to be very specific, or I believe you have to be very specific about who you're talking to, because just as much beauty products there's tons of customers. So it has to be enough to serve you if you're very specific about who you want to reach. And then the other point that I would say, not necessarily something I overlooked, but like I said, budget. You need to be comfortable with what it is that you're willing to lose, or understand that there is a potential to lose something. And hopefully the upside is, tremendous, but there is that reality that it may not go according to plan 100%. So you have to be comfortable with what it is financially that you're willing to put out there.
Absolutely. What are you hoping to bring to the industry? Like, what do you want your legacy or impact to be with Enzuri Beauty?
Oh my gosh. What I want is for women to think differently about how they take care of their skin. And I want women of color specifically to think differently about how they take care of their skin. Yeah, that's, if I can do that, if I can change mindsets in regards to, even if it's something slight, forming a new habit that turns into a ritual, that turns into something that you keep for the long haul, then I'm good. I'm good. I really want people to think differently about how they take care of their skin.
I love that. So what's next for Enzuri Beauty? When can we expect these products in our hands?
Exactly. So again, this is a journey. So I've definitely been learning. My target date has changed a bit based on what I thought and what's reality. So I am hoping, fingers crossed, all things now going according to plan. September, I'm hoping that I can start some pre-sales towards the middle of September or early September, because everything should be ready by mid-September. So yay,
that's exciting.
So
are you going to do like a launch party or anything?
I know, I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. Again, being based in Bermuda, I definitely want to do something here for my customers in Bermuda, potential customers in Bermuda. But again, working with, well, what can this launch look like, especially in this environment that we're in now. So yes, I will definitely keep you posted. So the website's up, people can go and just sign on and get on the wait list, or just to hear about what's coming up. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm
excited for you. This is going to be so awesome. I can't wait. So thank you so much for sharing with us. I'm really excited about the launch of this this brand, because just the details that you shared and just the process behind it, and you just taking your time to develop it and being mindful of everything. I know it's going to be good.
Yes. It's been a lot, very intentional about, all aspects of it. So I am looking forward to sharing it with this woman and the world. But yes.
This has been so great. I feel like we have like so much in common. Even the thing you said about just getting that course to learn the lingo. I was like, this is so me, because I literally and sometimes I have to get out of the habit of it too, but I literally feel like anytime that I embark on something new, I always feel like I need to take a course. So I need to take a class, because I just need, because for me, it's just like a shortcut. Like, I don't want to go through all the trial and error. I just need somebody to tell me what to do. So
well, me and my gardening, I had the masterclass. I had the masterclass app. I can't remember the guy, but he does all the gardening in California or LA or somewhere. I was following him, and yes, it's totally not his fault that things went the way they did. I take full responsibility, but I loved following his masterclass. And yeah, I had my list, I got my soil, I did everything. So I totally get it. Like, I'm not one. I think it's a shortcut, just jump in and do it. I want to have some level of, okay, what do I need to do before I get started? And I used to probably use that as an excuse in my younger years to get started. But now I realize, no, just figure it out. You got a little bit of information. Don't keep that from making that first step. So it's balance. So
definitely is a balance, because I was going to say too, like, on one hand, it's a good thing because you're, prepared, a little bit, but then the other hand is like, I know sometimes you have to realize enough sometimes to get started, and like you said, not let that hold you back.
Exactly. But I can also admit, gardening is not my thing. I'm gonna get there, just
not today.
Not right now.
Before you go, I have to ask you the Friends in Beauty rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So whatever comes to your mind first, just spit it out.
Okay.
All right. So this could just be in general, because I know you haven't launched yet. So however you feel the question relates to you in your personal life or corporate, whatever. Okay. So what are your top 3 keys to success so far?
Faith, patience, and a reality check.
Oh yes, a reality check. Oh gosh. How do you measure your success?
Growth. Like, I need to learn a lesson. Life's full of lessons. So if I learned the lesson, then that's growth to me.
I love that. What's the best advice you've ever received?
I'm sure it's ton, but what sticks? Um, be patient with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, you can only take on and do so much. So just be patient with yourself.
I love that. Ooh, I need to take that advice. What advice would you give to someone who wants to develop a skincare brand, I guess, but it's just like not going good? They're just ready to throw in the towel and say, forget it.
No, don't give up. It's a journey. It is a journey, and if you can get your head around that concept, then just keep going. It will have twists and turns and hills and hills in the road. It's a journey. Yeah, it took me 2 years to get to this point. It took a pandemic for me to get to this point. It's a journey for sure. Don't give up. If you truly believe in it, don't give up.
Absolutely. What's a resource that has helped you with developing Enzuri Beauty that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
Oh, a resource. Let me see. Can it be a person? Like,
Sure.
oh yeah. I mean, my brand strategist that I'm in helping with, she's definitely Patricia at Beauty Brand, but she's definitely helped me take all these ideas and help and put it together and really get me to organize it and to understand, because I know where I wanted to get to, but she's really helped me to just put it down and again, I'm an analytical person, so this should make sense to me, but it's so many moving parts. She's really helped me to guide me in regards to, well, you got to do this, don't forget you have to do, and this, you have to do this first before you can do, I know where you're trying to get to, like, so sometimes she has to rein me in, but it's definitely been very helpful as a sounding board. So yeah, I'll share her details because she's been amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know and I'll leave it down in the show notes for y'all. Absolutely. So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
Okay. My name is Kisha Tyrrell, and the key to success and longevity is love.
Love. Aww, I love
it.
Before you go, share your social media info and how we can find out more about Enzuri Beauty when you launch.
Yes. At Enzuri Beauty on Instagram, Enzuri Beauty on Facebook, and enzuribeauty.com on the internet.
Yes, love the consistency.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kisha, for sharing with us today.
Thank you. It was really nice. It was a pleasure to meet you. Definitely enjoyed this.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.